Welcome to the CompTIA Project Plus Prepcast by baremetalcyber.com. Corporate IT policies establish the formal rules for how technology resources, systems, and data are used within an organization. These policies set boundaries for acceptable behavior, define access control protocols, and lay out branding standards for communications and deliverables. In a project environment, they serve as both a protective framework and a quality standard, ensuring that the project team operates in a way that protects the organization's assets and reputation. The project manager must ensure that all team members understand these policies and apply them consistently throughout the project lifecycle. There are multiple categories of IT policy that are relevant to a project manager's responsibilities. These can include access control, acceptable use, branding, data retention, and remote work requirements. Each category influences how systems are configured, how communications are managed, and how data is stored or shared. These policies are not optional. They form part of onboarding materials, ongoing training, and the organization's compliance documentation. Understanding these categories helps the project manager anticipate constraints and integrate them into project planning from the start. Acceptable use policies, often referred to as AUPs, spell out exactly what is permitted and prohibited when using the organization's IT resources. They cover the use of email, internet browsing, company-issued devices, and the installation of software. By clearly defining acceptable and unacceptable behavior, these policies help protect systems from misuse and reduce the likelihood of legal or compliance issues. Violations can result in disciplinary action and, in severe cases, termination, so the project manager must ensure that these guidelines are communicated and followed. Enforcing IT policy requires both proactive communication and active monitoring. IT departments often deploy software tools that enforce configurations, block prohibited actions, and record activity for auditing purposes. The project manager's role includes ensuring that every team member has received the relevant policies, acknowledged them, and understands the consequences of violations. Any breaches must be addressed swiftly and consistently to maintain policy credibility and organizational trust. Device usage and configuration standards are common elements in corporate IT policy. These standards define approved operating systems, sanctioned applications, and required configuration settings for security and compatibility. Using unapproved tools or hardware can create security vulnerabilities or compatibility issues, so such items are often restricted or blocked. Project managers should coordinate with IT before selecting tools or deploying new technology to ensure compliance with these standards and avoid delays or remediation costs. Remote work and bring your own device, or BYOD, policies provide the framework for how project work can be done outside the office. Remote work policies specify secure access methods, monitoring expectations, and allowable environments for working with company data. BYOD policies govern how personal devices can be used for project work, including requirements for device encryption, approved apps, and mobile device management controls. Team members using personal devices may be required to allow IT oversight of those devices while they are used for company work. IT policy for access management defines who can access systems, networks, and applications and under what conditions. These policies enforce security principles such as segregation of duties, least privilege, and role-based access control. The project manager must ensure that user provisioning and deprovisioning for project systems follow these guidelines, preventing both over-permissioning and delays in granting necessary access. Onboarding and termination procedures for IT resources are often documented in corporate policy and must be built into the project plan. Onboarding typically includes account creation, issuance of devices, and training on relevant systems and policies. Offboarding covers the removal of all access, recovery of devices, and secure wiping of any stored data. The project manager should track these tasks to ensure they are completed promptly, reducing security risks and maintaining compliance. Third-party and vendor access policies ensure that external participants in a project follow the same IT rules as internal staff. Vendors must acknowledge and adhere to the organization's policies, and their access must be monitored and controlled. Contracts should include provisions for compliance, reporting, and penalties for violations. The project manager should confirm that vendor agreements are in place and that access controls are properly applied before work begins. Communications and branding policies define how the organization's visual and written identity is presented. These include the use of logos, approved email templates, document formats, and signature lines. Consistency in tone, style, and branding reinforces the organization's professionalism and brand recognition. Project managers must apply these standards in all reports, presentations, and project portals to maintain brand alignment. Email and collaboration tool governance specifies how communication platforms are used within the organization. Policies may dictate confidentiality requirements, retention periods, and acceptable content. Internal chat tools may have monitoring and archiving functions that must be respected. Misuse of these channels can lead to legal exposure, reputational harm, or human resources action. The project manager must ensure that all communication remains professional and compliant. Behavioral expectations and the code of conduct form part of IT policy where it intersects with human resources policy. These guidelines define respectful use of systems and set expectations for professional interaction among colleagues. They address issues such as harassment, discrimination, and conflict resolution in a digital workspace. The project manager should reinforce these expectations to maintain a productive and respectful environment. For more cyber-related content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are other prepcasts on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. Thank you for listening. Please follow baremetalcyber.com on social media and check out our books at cyberauthor.me.